Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name is Joe. Tanktoberfest is officially over, but the last video I did in Tanktoberfest was on Sherman Leader, and I did the first week of the campaign, Italy 1943. I am now going to actually continue that campaign and try to play it out, and I'll post these in hopefully two videos, a week 2 video and a week 3 video. This is a 3-week campaign because the objective I chose was invasion. So if you didn't watch the week 1 video, I suggest going back and checking that out because I'm just going to pick it up right kind of where I left off in my last one. I zoomed in a little bit so you can't actually see the turn area of the map. But this is turn 1. Everything is set up. We are ready to go. I need to roll the D10 to see whether the enemy will use a D6 or a D10 for their tactical movement, which is here on this chart. So I'll do that right now. Rolled a 1, which is a D6. So they will be using the D6 for there. So as far as what I'm using here, I ended up, I spent the 5 SO points for priority R&R, which reduced all my commander's stress by 2. And I am actually taking on the same battalion I just fought. They moved up. They are now in my friendly staging area, and I only half destroyed them, which means I should flip this. So they are at half strength right now. So that's this mixed combat force here, which now since they're half strength, they get 1 tank, 1 half track, 2 rifle, 1 anti-tank, 1 machine gun, 1 mortar. I also elected to keep their same commander because I felt like same battalion, same commander. So just to refresh your memory, we've got Hans Valentin Huber. He gives us 2 SOs at the end of the battle if we destroy his battalion. And he is a defensive-minded commander, so they get a +2 on their defense rolls, and their tactical movement gets a -2. All right, so we will now begin here. I am using the same units that I used actually in the second battle of week 1, the units that actually fought this enemy battalion. So they're going to take them on again and hopefully destroy them this week. The only difference is I put Blair, my commander Blair, who was an infantry commander. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He was my light armor commander. I actually have him on leave this week to recover because his stress, even with the -2, he's got a 5 stress. So I need to bring him down a little bit. So he's off this week. Hopefully in week 3 he will return and do his thing. So I'm going to rule. I don't have any fast units. I don't have a command tactic either because of Blair being on leave this week. So I'm going to be in slow mode the whole battle, which is a bit of a challenge, but we'll overcome. So I'm rolling for their movement. They rolled a 1. So that is, they get a -2 from Huba. So they're in the 0 column here. So we get retreat to cover, retreat, and retreat. So actually, even though they just moved up with their setup movement at the top, once you set up your units, and I didn't do this, I'm supposed to be able to move my guys up. So I'm doing that. So they can actually move 2 because it's a rifle squad. So I'm moving up. You can move up basically your infantry. I did that for the enemy and I didn't do it for mine, so I just took care of that. Now, what I'm going to do besides that is, actually not besides that, based on their roll of 1, they're all going to basically retreat. So tanks, anti-tank, and armored car would retreat to cover. So we do have cover here. This is light cover, so the anti-tank will retreat. The machine gun automatically I do this all the time. I want to push the counters, and with these tiles, if you push the counters, you end up messing up your map. So I'm going to pick him up and move him there. Now our rifle also retreats, so he'll go back here. Our mortar also retreats, so he'll go back here. Everybody else is in cover, so they don't need to move. The tank actually could retreat to that, but he has light cover here. He'd have light cover there. These are impassable, so he cannot retreat there. No vehicles can enter here, so no half tracks. Tanks, armored cars can go there. All right, so that actually puts them out of range of being able to attack any of my units. Actually, it doesn't. The mortar can attack. So, and they have indirect fire, so they don't even need a line of sight, although they do have one. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3 and attack my infantry here. So his attack rating for HE is a 5. He's at range 3, so he's going to get a +2, or a -2 rather, on his roll. So he actually needs a 7 to hit. Actually, that's a 6. But anyway, he got 1 hit because he rolled a 10 and a 2. So now his defense, our rifle team here, his defense is a 3. No cover, so we just need to roll a 3 or lower. And we rolled a 7, so we take damage. Bullet shit, and we get 1 stress. So our commander earns a stress. And that's Kelly. So this is Kelly here. And he earns 1 stress. All right. Now it's my turn. So we'll start off with my tanks here. I will take my Sherman. And we're going to move up. On the road, you get a free move on a road, basically. You get 1 move. So he's going to move up 2, actually, even though he's got a move rating of 1. And now he will attack. He gets a -1 modifier for moving. His commander doesn't give him any bonus adjustments. He's a +0 at 1. So we're at range of 2. We're going to attack the tank. He's in light cover. So his defense is actually going to end up being a 6 because it's 3 + 1 for light cover +2 for the commander. That's going to be 6. So that's going to be tough. My AP attack is 6. As I said, it gets a -1 for range and a -1 for attack. So I need to roll an 8. And we rolled a 7 and a 2, so no hits. I mean, that was kind of a dicey proposition anyway. So I'm going to move my Lee and do the same thing. So he's also in the same hex. Sticking to the road here. Going to attack the same thing. So we have the same setup, except our commander is a +1. So we need a 7 or higher to hit. And we rolled a 9 and a 3, so that's 1 hit. Now they need a 6, which is fairly easy to get. And the way I've been rolling, they're probably going to get it. 9, so he's actually destroyed. So that worked out better than I had actually hoped. So my 2 armor units have gone. Now I have my rifle. And again, they can get 1 free movement. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to move here on the road. They're going to move there. Now that's a move. So if I do a move and attack, then I would get stress for my commander, a 1 stress, and a -2 on my attack roll. But I'm going to do it anyway. So we're going to attack this rifle squad right here. So I'm going to flip Kelly's stress from 1 to 2 because he gets a stress, and we have a -2 attack. And they are in the open. So our HE attack is a 5 with the -2 for moving and attacking. It gets a -2 modifier. So we rolled an 8 and a 7, so that's 2 hits. Now they need a 5 or lower on both dice here to not be killed. We rolled a 5 and a 4, so that defensive benefit saved this unit. So their commander actually saved them. Now I'm going to do, we're going to move these guys up 1. Now because they didn't start on the road, they don't get the free move. And so that's going to end my turn. We're going to go to turn 2. And we roll for the Germans. And they get a 2, which -2 again is 0. So again, this is a defensive-minded commander. He's not going to do anything rash. So the anti-tank, retreat to cover, already in cover, no need to retreat. Everybody else will retreat if they can. So the rifle's going to move up here. This rifle will also move up here. And our machine gun will actually move him into the heavy cover. All right, and that's going to end their turn. Actually, it won't. These 2 guys can both attack our rifle squad here. So we'll do the half track first. He's got an HE of 5, so needs a 5 to hit. Rolled 2 4s, so did not hit. Now our mortar, same thing. He's got a 6. Range is only 1. Rolled a 4 and a 7, so that's 1 hit. His defense, I believe, is a 3. and there's no cover here. And it's a 6, so that's a hit. And we get a casualty. So 2 casualties will kill my unit. It has no other effect immediately, at least. So that's going to finish them because all these other guys' range is 1. They don't have a target. My turn again. All right, so I'm going to move my Sherman here. And we will attack our anti-tank team. So we're using our HE attack, which is a 6. We get a -1 for moving. Again, the commander, no adjustment, so I need a 7. Rolled a 7 and a 2, so that's a hit. Again, light cover, so 2 plus 2 for the commander is 4, plus 1 is 5. So they need a 5 to not be destroyed. And they rolled a 7, so they're destroyed. Okay, doing okay so far. Now the Lee, the Lee, I think I'm going to move here and use the road to go up to this one, and then I'll attack the half track. So he's armored, so I can use my HE attack because the Lee has an AP attack of 6 and an HE attack of 8, so I'd rather hit the hard target than the soft target with him. So we did move, which is a -1, but we get a +1 from our commander. The range is 2, so we get a -1 anyway. So we need a 7 to hit. We rolled a 10 and a 6, so that's 1 hit, and they get a 4 for defense. And rolled a 6, so they are dead. Okay, things are going pretty well. I'm going to move, Oh, shoot, I totally forgot to do my special condition card. Axis push. Advance all non-fixed battalion in the enemy transit, enemy rear, and enemy breakthrough. So these 2 are actually fixed. Add a unit with a value of 6 or less, and it's green commander to your command. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let me do that. I'll do that off camera, and then I'll return. Okay, so I took a half track, M3 half track, light armor unit, and I took Geist. And I'm actually not going to use them in this battle. Because it just says in the command, so I'll just save them and use them in the next battle, the second battle of week 2 here. I also didn't flip my event card, so friendly air support at the start of the battle. Destroy 1 random enemy unit. Okay, so we have 4 units left. Let me roll a d6. If I roll a 5 or a 6, I won't destroy anybody since I didn't use this at the start. If I roll 1, 2, 3, 4, that's destroyed. Rolled a 2, so that would be this guy, so I'm going to destroy him. So I screwed that up, obviously. Sorry. I guess in my excitement to get going here, I totally forgot about the cards. So, all right. Friendly air support and Axis push. All right, so now we will go on to my rifle unit was going to attack the mortar, I believe is what I was going to do. And I was debating whether to move up and attack, but that would actually stress my commander, which I don't want to do. So we're going to attack from here. It's a range of 1. His HE attack is a 5. HE attack of 5, so we will attack the mortar team there. And they are not in cover, so their defense is actually a 4. So we roll a 9 and a 7. That's 2 hits. Now he needs to roll a 4 or lower twice. And we rolled a 1 and a 10, so he's destroyed. All right, so now we'll move our other infantry guys. They'll take the 1 road and move here. Both of them. Neither one of them has a target in an adjacent hex, so they're going to finish their move right there. We'll go to turn 3. Roll for the Germans. They rolled a 6, so this time they're at a 4. So now we're going to move up, maybe. So our anti-tank unit is destroyed, so they don't have anything in this column. Rifle, half-track, machine gun. They do have rifle and machine gun left. So those both get an adjacent cover. They're both in cover. I think the rule is probably to move up closer to a heaviest cover. So they're in heavy. So they're going to move here. So they're both in the heavy cover now, because that's what adjacent cover says, that they want to go to the heaviest cover. So they're both in the deep woods here, dark and deep woods. And that will end their turn, because they're both range 1, and none of my units are in range of them. So now it's my turn. I'm going to move my Sherman up, because why not, to be adjacent. So we get a -1 for moving. No adjustment for our commander. Now this is an HE attack, so it's going to be it's a 6 -1. So basically I need a 7. I'll attack the machine gun unit, I guess, because they have a lower defense value. We rolled a 1 and a 2, so no hits. So I'm going to move my Lee up, and I'll move all of my infantry here. And that will end my turn. Now, I did employ my scout car, so even though their commander, or rather their battalion card says to reduce the battle by 1 turn, I used my scout car to increase it by a turn, so I still have 5 turns to destroy them. And actually, I just realized they are destroyed here, because they only have 2 units left. They only have 2 points left, and at 5 they were destroyed. So I actually went a little bit beyond what I needed to do there. So I made a few more mistakes in this than I actually thought I would, and I'm kind of ashamed of that. But in the end, and I dropped one of my die, so I have to pick that up. So I am going to, this will be the end of the battle. Obviously, I'll do my end of battle, end of combat, post-combat stuff where we pull a card. So let me put this card, I tuck them on the bottom usually. So here's our event card. And we get the bottom for a post battle. So we gain 2 SO points, so that's nice. So I need to remember that. I'm going to tuck it to the side here, so I remember I get +2 SO points at the end of the week. We also get 2 for destroying his battalion. So we will be drawing a new. This is his. This was the battalion we were fighting. They're dead, so they're out. And that's this one here. So their mixed combat force has been destroyed. And next up, we'll be fighting this infantry. So I am going to tally everything up, and we'll pick up from there with a new event card and so on. Okay, so here's our post-battle 1 of week 2. Right here. So week 2, we took on 5A, we destroyed it. So down here I wrote X because we destroyed it, and we got the other 2 VPs for it. We got 1 for setting it down to half, because you basically divide by 2 and round down. It was a 3 victory point unit, so we got 1 for having it, and then 2 for finally destroying it. I picked up 4 extra SO points, 1 from the event card and 1 from the commander card for the Germans. So that's 4 SOs. I added those to the 5 that I started the battle with. I now have 9, and I'll get 8 more at the end of this next battle, because we'll be ending the week. So I'll actually go into the next week with 17, which will allow me to actually maybe purchase some units here. And then we got, so stress-wise, everybody got 2. Well, you get 2. We got 2 experience points for each guy that participated, because you get 2 for participating in the battle. Nobody got promoted. So we have 2 guys with a 1 cool, Johnson and Lively. They both get 1 after the battle. Blair is on R&R, or on leave rather, which takes his 5 and reduces it by 4. So I just wrote a 1 and then an asterisk to indicate that that's the adjustment from being on leave. Kelly got 2 in the battle and 2 more at the end, so he's at 4. Chin actually started the battle with 2 and picked up 2 more for participation, so that's 4. And then Berry, he got 2 for participating in the battle. So that's the situation here after. Oh, and I also, down here at the bottom, I noted that Kelly's infantry unit 901 has a casualty marker. So you mark down, and Blair also has a casualty marker. He's on leave. I will probably use the medic to remove the casualty marker from one of these two. I haven't decided which one yet, but we'll take care of that at the end of the week. So now it's time to set up. Second battle, we'll be taking on an infantry battalion, number 6A, and that'll be set up here in a moment. And we are back for the start of Battle 2 of Week 2. So interesting mix of terrain that was drawn for this one. We have urban and city in these on this right side here. And we have some light cover in each of these. And then we have bogging up here, which we haven't had in Sherman Leader yet. I did have it once in my Tiger Leader videos. So basically, it's really not going to impact anything because it's only when you enter. But this armored car will have to roll when it moves because any of the hexes it moves to is a bogging hex. And it might be a little bit difficult to see, but we roll a d10. And if it's 3 or under, it's stuck for the battle. 4 to 7, it immediately has to stop. 8 plus, no effect. Okay. So obviously I rolled and placed all my units. They don't have any tanks. This is an infantry unit. So as you can see, we have to add a rifle at the start of each turn. So this is a tough one, and it's worth four victory points for killing it. So I do have a larger force for this one than I did for the first battle, which is why I elected to take that extra unit and stick it with this unit. That extra unit card that I got from my event in the previous battle which I purchased a half track with. That is being used here as well. So I have 2 Shermans, one here. I have an M3 Lee here. My half track is here. I have a scout car here. Then I have a rifle squad and, a rifle team, I guess, and a machine gun team and that's the machine gun team and that's the anti-tank team. So we have a pretty decent mix here. So they started with 4 rifles and they all moved up and they're all in this urban or city area here. So they all have heavy cover. And I have to draw my commander, which I did not do. I'm going to draw my event card first. So tactical advantage. This is basically useless. Although I am going to use the second part of it to place each of your units 1 hex row forward. So I'm going to move everybody up 1. So I will put my machine gun team in here. And I'll put my anti-tank team here, and I'm going to move I'm moving everybody up. So, because it allows me to do that with this card. So I'm going to place that underneath, and we'll draw another event card at the end. I need to draw my commander. So the way I've been doing it, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I have not used yet. I have a D8 that I will roll. And if I roll 1 through 7, I just take that card. So I rolled a 2. We pull the second card. This is how I do it. And we got, look who we got, Heinz Guderian. So we gained 3 SOs for this. He also gives light cover. Hexes give +2 defense, and heavy cover give +3 defense. So that's a bit of a tough nut to crack because this terrain actually has a lot of cover on it. So just like last battle, we've got some defensive mastery on the German side. So we're ready to start. Let me roll my D10 to figure out what. Oh yeah, turn counter. We're on turn 1, and this time we get 6 because I still have my second scout car here. So 6 turns for this battle. Let's see if they use a D6 or a D10. They're going to use the D10. So now we'll roll for their turn because, again, I don't have any fast units. And I rolled an 8. So an 8 is advance if cannot attack for our anti-tanks and armored cars. So the armored car has a range of 2, cannot attack. This one has a range of 2, can attack. So let's move this guy. And before we move, we have to... He's going to try to move here. We're going to see what happens with this bogging terrain. Rolled a 3, which means stuck for battle, so he's actually stuck there. From our handy dandy terrain expansion, we have this counter that says terrain stuck for battle, so I'm just going to put that next to him. So I'll remember that. But now he's 2 away, so he can still attack. So he will attack. We have 902 and 920. So 920 is the machine gun team with a defensive 2, and 902 is a rifle team with a defensive 3. They're both in heavy cover, so they're going to get a +2. So he will attack 920, the machine gun team, with the slightly lower defense value. And he rolled a 1 and a 3, so those both miss. His HE is a 6, so he needed to roll a 6 or higher to hit. Neither one of those hit, so that armored car's done. This one will attack as well, same target. And he rolled a 6 and a 9, so that's 2 hits. Now, we're in heavy cover, so our defense is actually a 4. We rolled a 3 and a 5, so 1 hit. We'll pull a chit out here, and we get everybody's favorite, no effect. All right, so that takes care of the armored cars. Now we have anti-tank. So we have one here and one here. They can both attack. So they will do that. So we'll go with this guy first. So he's got a... They're all soft targets. They're all HE targets. So he'll have to use 7. No range adjustment. We'll attack the... He'll attack, actually, I guess, the anti-tank team here in 912. And we roll a 3 and a 6. So we have no hits. This is light cover, which is why I chose this one. Now, the other anti-tank will do the same thing. Rolled an 8 and a 4, so that's 1 hit. So this has a defense of 2 with 1 for the cover, gives us 3. Rolled a 9, so that's a hit. And we get exposed. So now they'll have to move next turn, or they'll get a +2 modifier on any attacks against them. Okay, so we'll move to rifles now. They get HE advance. So I think what we're supposed to do here is actually move up. So let's move up and attack. They'll both attack. Well, we'll do one at a time. This guy will attack here at 912. So same thing. 7 and a 2, so that's 1 hit. And we roll for defense. Again, light cover, so they get it's a 3. Rolled a 7, so that is a hit. And we get no effect again. All right, I'll move the other rifle squad up. Same thing, needs a 5 to hit. Gets 2 hits, 7 and 9. So again, we need a 3 on defense here. We get a 10 and a 9, so that's 2 hits. And we get immobile T and immobile T. So that's temporary immobilization. So they have to stay. So they kind of contradict each other because we have an exposed, which gives us a +2 if we don't move. And then the immobilization means that we can't move. We can't move, or we suffer a stress. So I'm actually probably going to elect to take the stress. So I'm going to just do that right now. I'm going to throw this back, and I'm going to put a stress on my commander, Kolchak. Okay, so that's their 2 rifles. Now we've got our half-tracks and machine gunners. So the half-tracks get HE advance, so they're advancing towards an HE unit. So they'll both move up 1 and attack. Well, let's do this one first. Range is 2, rifle. He's a 5 to hit. He gets a -1 for moving and a -1 for range, so that's a -2. So they really need a 7. They get a 7 and a 10, so that's 2 hits. This machine gun team is in heavy cover, so their defense is a 4. We roll a 4 and a 10, so that's 1 hit. And we get no effect. So I'm doing okay on pulling the no effects. Now we'll move this half track up. So he's in attack 5 with a -1 for movement, so it's a 6 or higher. Rolls a 6 and a 9, so that's 2 hits. Again, it's a 4 on defense, a 1 and a 6, so 1 hit. And 1 stress. So we get a stress for our machine gun leader, Graham. And now we move our machine guns up. So actually we'll move him into this hex and attack attack that guy right there. So 912 is getting attacked again. They have a 3. So 5 and a 9 is 2 hits. The defense is a 3. We get a 7 and a 2, so 1 hit. And we get no hit, no effect. And look, there are other things in here. It's not all no effect. So, okay, so now we move our other machine gunner, which is here. We'll move him up here. And he will attack our anti-tank team as well. 3, but it's a 2 modifier for moving. So that they need a 5 or higher. A 10 and a 4, so that's 1 hit. And again, the defense is a 3. Rolled a 5, so that is 1 hit. And we get 1 stress. So Graham's stress goes up. Not Graham. Kolchak's stress goes to 2. Okay, so that ends their turn. And we go to, oh wait, the mortars. The mortars get advanced to cover. So he can move up here. And he will move up here. But first we need to attack. So we'll attack with this guy. Indirect fire, so he can attack anybody he wants. He's going to attack the anti-tank team because they have the best odds of hitting there. So he has a 6, but he gets a +2 for movement, so it's an 8. Rolled a 2 and a 1, so no hits. Now this one gets the same thing. He's going to move up into the city. Heavy cover. We'll attack the same unit. There was also a range adjustment there, but so this guy, again, it's a +2 for movement, so it's an 8 to hit. Rolled a 2 and a 10, so that's 1 hit. And then the defense is a 3. Rolled a 5, so that is a hit. And we get no effect. All right. Okay, so, and that was actually turn 2. I forgot to move the turn counter. So now we move on to, actually, no, this is turn 1, isn't it? So now it's my turn, and we will go with, I will move my Sherman up here into the same hex with my mortar team to gain the 3rd attack die. Also, and I screwed this up in my previous video, when you move into 0 range, you take the modifier for movement and you actually flip it and add it to your attack. So I have 3 attack die. My HE attack is a 6. I get 3 attack die at 6, and I add 1 instead of subtracting 1. So I only need a 5 to hit. So we got 1 hit there. And still 1 hit. Okay, so now he's in light cover. He gets +2 from Guderian, so that's going to be a 4. So 1 hit, he needs a 4 or lower, and rolled a 3. So no damage. Figures. My Lee is going to also move up here as well. Same thing. So we've got 2 attack die. Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered. I forgot to add my 2 for the commander. So for Lee, we're going to have, it's an HE attack is 8. But again, we moved, so we're going to get +1. And we're going to get +2 from the commander, so they need a 5 or higher. We rolled a 9 and an 8, so that's 2 hits. And a 4. So 2 hits. Again, defense is 4. 5 and a 2, so the mortar team is destroyed. All right, now we will take our scout car. We're going to move up, and we are going to... his HE is a 6 with a -1 for attack while moving. So again, we're going to add 1 instead. We get our 3 attack die. We're going to attack one of the rifle teams. So our HE 6, we're going to add 1, which will make it a 5. The commander doesn't add anything either. So 5 to hit with 3 attack die. We get an 8 and a 4, so that's 1 hit. And a 4 again, so still 1 hit. Now they are in heavy cover. So they're going to add 3, so it's a 6. And we rolled a 10, so we'll kill one of the rifle squads. So that's good. And now we will roll... I guess I'll roll with my machine gun team here. So we are at range 0. And their HE attack is 2. And there's no modifiers from the commander. So we roll a 4 and a 7, and I get 1 more. So that's 2 hits. And a 3 makes 3 hits. So they need to roll a 6 or lower 1 out of 3 times to avoid being killed. 3 and 4. So they still have 1 more chance to be killed. That negates 2 hits. And this one is an 8. So they are killed. Okay, that's good. All right, so now our rifle squad in 902. So they get a stress if we move and attack. So I think I'm just going to attack at range here, even though it would be good. So only to avoid the stress, because my commander Moore is a recruit and he gets his stress. He'll go to shaken at 3. And so right now he has 0. So he'll attack the machine gun team. And they're going to get their defense will end up being a 5. But still, we're going to take a shot at it. His HE attack is 5, but he gets a -1 for his recruit commander. So I need a 6 or higher to hit. And we rolled a 7 and a 3, so that's 1 hit. Now he needs a 5 or lower to avoid being killed. Rolled a 5. All right. So now here's my 912. This is my anti-tank team, and they need to move or they get a +2. But if they do move, then I get a stress, which I already applied. So I'm going to put this here. We're going to move into the heavy cover of this hex. And we're going to attack at a range of... we're not going to attack, actually, because I don't want the extra stress. So that's just a move, basically, to save his bacon. I'm going to move my other Sherman up in here. And we'll attack the machine gun team. So again, this is Unit 42. This is Cushing's Sherman. So he gets an HE attack of 6. The -1 becomes a +1. We also get a 3rd die at range 0. So we need a 5 to hit. We get 2 1s. Now we roll 1 more. And we rolled a 9. Now defensively, this is only light cover, so they get +2. So they need a 4 or lower. And they rolled a 3. All right, I'll do the same thing with 504. This is my half track. We'll move up. Range 0. HE attack is 6. No adjustment from the commander. They have -2 attack when moving, so that's going to become a +2, and we get a 4. So 4 and 3 die, 3 attack die. We get a 3 and a 6, so that's 1 hit. And another 6. So 2 hits, and again, the machine gun team needs a 4 or lower. Rolled a 5 and a 7, so the machine gun team is dead. And that will end turn number 2. Now I have to put a new rifle squad out according to scenario rules. So I'll roll for its placement. And we rolled a 1, so it goes up here. And this will start their turn. We roll the D10 for their tactical movement. They get a 3. And so we are ready to go. 3, 4, tanks, anti-tank, armored cars, advance to cover. So we know we have armored cars and anti-tank. So advance to cover for our armored car here. We'll move him into the city, heavy cover. And we'll have him attack as well. So the best target for him would be an armored target, of which we do have some now. So he's going to take a crack at our Sherman, I guess. No, I guess he would actually probably prefer the scout car because it is... Although, actually, no, that's in heavy cover. This is in light cover. So he'll go after the half track, which has a defense of 1. In light cover, that will be bumped up to a 2. So any tank the armored car, rather, I'm sorry, moved up. So he gets a -1 on his roll. His AP attack, rather, is a 5. So he needs a 6 or higher. 3 and a 5, so those both miss. That is the only armored car available. I believe I killed the other one. So we've got our anti-tank units now. Oh, wait, here's the other one. He's stuck for the battle, so he cannot move. Does have a range of 3, however, so he can attack. 1, 2. He'll take a crack at our half-track. Actually, no, I guess he would probably prefer the tank, the Sherman. So he has an HE attack of 5. The range is 2, so he's going to lose 1 on that. So we're going to need a 6 or higher again. So he's attacking 041 here. That's a Sherman. 3 and a 5. So those are both misses because of the range. The 5 is a miss. So the 2 armored cars are done. This guy's stuck for the battle, as we know from previous turn when he moved during the bog in the bogging area. Any tank, we've got one here, one here. They advance to cover, so they would move up if they could get better cover. They're both in high cover now, so that's not going to apply, obviously. So we'll take this guy here and we'll have him attack. He'll attack the 504 as well. Our half track needs a 3 to hit. 5 and a 6, so that's 2 hits. So the half track gets a defense of 1, and it's in light cover, so that's a 2. So we got 2 hits. And we got a no effect and a casual... Oh, wait. Exposed. And, oh, man, Commander KIA. Okay, so this half track was actually the one I got for free. So let me put the exposed on here. I'll throw the Commander KIA back in there. And Geist, unfortunately, has been killed. All right. So our other AT here will also attack the half track. Same thing, needs a 3. Got 1 hit, 2 and a 5. So again, the defense is a 2. Rolled a 5, so another hit. And we get machine gun, which prevents them from being able to fire at range 0. So they can't attack at 0. Okay, so now we will move on to rifles. Rifles get adjacent cover. So we have a rifle here. They don't have any cover in the area, so they're not going to move based on that. They're in the bogging area. And then we have other rifle units. We have one here and one here. So adjacent cover, they go to the higher cover, I believe, heaviest cover. So they're both going to pull back or move into this one. I guess they'll move into this one. We'll go adjacent cover. And so we know this is heavy cover. They're in the same hex now. They can attack. And so the best target for them, they're both better at hitting HE units. So we do have 3 infantry types in here. And of those 3 infantry types, they would probably choose to attack, not to attack the rifle team because the rifle team has the best defense. So that leaves the anti-tank team and the machine gun team. And the anti-tank team, well, the machine gun team is actually more dangerous. So they'll attack that one. So they're both going to do it. I moved them both. Typically, you move one, roll the attack. I mean, we can do it in the right order. They're both going to do the same thing. So they rolled a 7 and a 1. That's 1 hit. Our machine gun team has a defense of 4 because we're in heavy cover. Rolled a 4, so no hit. Now our second rifle team will move in. Same thing. They need a 5. Actually, they need a 7 to hit now that I think about it because they moved. So they roll a 7 and a 6. That's 1 hit. And again, the defense is 4. And we rolled a 4 again, so no hits. From the 2 rifle teams, now we also have half tracks and machine guns. So we have a machine gun here. We have 2 half tracks. But we're looking for adjacent cover. So the half track can move here. And this half track will move here. But first, we'll move this guy here and have him attack. Actually, they both can move to, well, this is heavier cover. So they moved, so that's a -1 on their attack. They have HE firepower only, so they will also attack our machine gun. So they need a 6. Rolled a 10 and a 3, so that's 1 hit. And again, the defense is 4. Rolled a 9. So 1 hit on our machine gun team. And we get suppress temporary. So this is like immobile. They can't fire. Oh, suffer a stress or can't attack. I'm sorry, I had that backwards. Move is immobilized, obviously. I'm going to take the stress and so that I can attack because we need to kill these guys. So that's 1 half track. The other half track will move up in here. Now they're in the hex with because that's the heaviest cover they can move to. So they're in the same hex with these tanks, but they can't actually attack them because they don't have an AP attack available. So they're going to attack adjacent as well. So they'll get a -1 and need a 6, and they'll attack the machine gun too. So they rolled 2 hits. Now machine gun needs 4 or lower. We got 2 hits there, 7 and a 5. So let me pull 2 out here. And we get a stress and no effect. So our stress for our machine gun team is now actually a 3. That's as high as he can go without becoming shaken. Next stress applied to Graham will make him shaken. Okay, so that's the half tracks and the rifles are done. We have our machine gun. He's already in heavy cover, so I don't think he needs to move. So we will just roll for his dice, or his attack rather. So he'll also attack the machine gun. He has a 3. Rolled a 10 and a 3, so that's 2 hits. Again, we need a 4 defensively. 2 and a 1, so both hits are negated. Whew, that was close. All right, so that's going to end their turn. Oh no, the mortars. Mortars get hold, but they can attack. So I think there's only 1 mortar left, and he's right here. So he will move. He will fire on. He likes soft targets, so he will attack the machine gun again. We need a 6 or higher. Rolled a 5 and a 1. 5 and 1. That was a 5 before it flipped to a 9. 5 and 1. No hits. And so we move on to the slow move and attack. That's mine. So we will have our Sherman here attack the half track. Again, we get 3 attack die. We need a 6 to hit with a +2 on our roll. So we really only need a 4. The commander gives us a +2. We get 2 6s, so that's 2 hits. Now they have a 4. They have 2 defense. +1 from cover is 3, +2 from Guderian makes them a 5. So they got a 3 and a 1, so no damage. So we'll do the same thing with the Lee. He's also a 6, also gets 2. So again, we need 4s to hit, 4 and 7, so again 2 hits. Again, they need a 5 or lower. Well, that one's a 9, so he's going to die. The other one was a 10, so that half track has been killed, but it took both my units to do it instead of just getting it on the first one, which would have been the ideal. So 920, my machine gun crew is going to attack this rifle squad. So again, same hex, so they get 3 attack die. Need a 2 to hit. And we get a 2 and an 8, so that's 2 hits. And our third die, if I can get this guy out of here, is a 7, so that's another hit. So all 3 hit. Now they get 3 plus 2 plus 1, so they have 6 defense. A 7 and a 9, so the rifle is killed. I'm just going to stack it with the other one. This hex is getting crowded. So that's our machine gun team. Now we'll do 902, which is our rifle team. They have an HE attack of 5 with a -1 from their commander, so they need a 6. And again, we get 3 attack. So we rolled 2 9s. That's 2 hits. And a 6. 3 hits. So now their other rifle also has a defense of 6 because of... Actually, no, they get a defense of 3, and 3 is 6. Yeah, they get 6. So two hits negated, and a 10 kills it. All right, before I move on, let me count what's left. We've got 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. They are half at 13, so I need to kill one more unit, basically. So now we have our anti-tank team, and they are going to attack our half-track up here. Actually, no, we'll attack the armored car. So their AP attack, rather, is a 6. They get no adjustment from their commander, and we're at range 1, so we'll roll here. We got a 7 and a 9. That's 2 hits. Now they have a 2, and they get a +3 for heavy cover from Guderian, so that's actually a defense of 5. I was doing the defense wrong earlier. He just adds 1 to their cover, so light cover instead of 1 becomes 2, and heavy instead of 2 becomes 3. I was actually giving them better defense than they deserved. So they needed 4s, and they got a 5 and a 9, so that armored car is dead. Okay. So now I have 504, my half-track, who needs to move, but can't attack from the same hex. So he's going to move here to remove his exposed, but he also has machine gun damage, so he can't attack at 0 range, so he's going to attack the he has no AP attack, so he's going to attack the machine gun squad here. Now he did move, so that gets a -2, and he doesn't have a commander, so that gives him another -2, so he needs a 9. Actually, no, he needs a 10 to hit, so they're probably not going to hit, but we're going to try it anyway. 8 and a 5, no hit. So that leaves my last Sherman here. So he will actually move into this hex, which would typically give him a -1. But again, 0 range, they actually flip that. So he gets a +1 on his attack. And his commander does not give him anything. So his AP attack is a 6. He'll need a 5 to hit. He's attacking the half-track. And we get 3 die. 9 and 7, that's 2 hits, and our third die gives us another 9, that's 3 hits. So the half-track gets a defense of 5, and a 10 and a 7, so he's dead. Okay, so that will end my turn. We go to turn 3. We have to add another rifle squad, which is the last one we have. I'll have to remove some from these dead guys here, and then we roll to see where they put them. 2, so that would be here. So that gave them back 1. So they've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They have 10 left, so they are now at half strength. So we're going to subtract 2 from their roll here. They roll an 8, so that becomes a 6. So they're going to advance if cannot attack if they're tanks, anti-tanks, or armored car. They do have an anti-tank, but they can attack with that unit, so they don't need to advance there. Everybody else, both armored cars are dead. Actually, that one's not dead, but can't advance. So this armored car and this anti-tank, neither one's going to advance because they can both attack, and that one can't move. So we'll attack here first. Range is 2. We'll attack our Sherman. He gets a 5 with a -1 modifier for distance, so that's a 6. Needs a 6 to hit. Roll 2 8s. We have light cover, and our Sherman has a defense of 2, so it's a 3. We get a 10 and a 4, so that's 2 hits. And we get a gun and an exposed. So we know exposed means if he doesn't move, he takes a +2 to hit next turn, and gun actually means they cannot attack at any range over 1. So they can't attack at range 2 or 3. So the armored car is done. Now we'll attack with our anti-tank. Their range is only 1. He'll attack our half-track right here. Because there's no adjustment, and that has a lower armor than the tank that's in the same hex with him. Actually, no, I just realized he should attack the tank, because you would take his movement, his attack penalty for movement of -2, and apply it, so that would become a +2 on his to hit. So he actually would only need a 1 to hit the tank, so we're going to do that. So he gets a 6 and a 10, of course. I didn't even really need to roll. Both hit, and the defense here, we're in heavy cover. The Sherman has a defense of 2, so he needs a 4. We rolled a 6 and a 5, so that's 2 hits. And we get a explosion and Commander KIA. Either way, it works out the same. An explosion and explosion kills the unit and the commander. So 42 is dead. It has been destroyed. Oh, come on. Okay, so Cushing and his Sherman are dead. All right. So that anti-tank is done. Now we move on to rifles and half-tracks. So the rifle gets an advance to cover star. For rifles, treat these orders as AP advance when at range 1 to an AP target. They're not at range 1 to anybody. And advance to cover, they're actually not able to advance to cover either. Heaviest adjacent cover towards closest friendly unit. So I guess they can advance towards a friendly unit, which would be, in his case, moving here. The cover is the same, so I guess they get to move, but we have to do... so he can move there, but this guy is going to have to roll for the bogging. So we'll move him there and then roll our D10. And we get a 5, which means stop acting, which he was going to stop acting there anyway. So those are the 2 rifles. Now our half tracks, we don't have any left. So we have machine gun also, advance to cover. So he's at range 1 to these guys. He's just going to attack our machine gun team, which is 920. So his attack is a 3. Rolled 2 9s. And our machine gun team is in heavy cover with a defense of 2, which becomes 4. So 1 hit, 3 and a 9. And we get casualty. So casualty means second casualty will kill that unit. So that's the machine gun. Now we go to the mortar. And the mortar is here. And we only have the 1 mortar. So he's going to... he has cautious advance, which means advance only if by doing so it cannot be attacked. And he's already in heavy cover. So he's going to stay where he is. And we will... oh, we have an anti-tank here as well. I forgot about this guy. So they have advance to cover. So they can move. He's going to move here. And he'll attack our half-track with a range of 1. So nothing there, but he gets a -2 for moving. So he needs a 5. Gets a 9 and a 6. So that's 2 hits. The half-track gets... his defense is 1, plus 2 is 3. So we get 2 8s, which is 2 hits. And we get a stress and a gun. So stress is inapplicable because that unit no longer has a commander. And gun means it can only, basically now it can only attack at range 1 because it cannot attack in same hex at range 0. And it cannot now attack at longer distance. Well, it only has a range of 0 and 1, so I guess gun doesn't actually apply either. So I threw that back. So that's the 2 anti-tank. Now we have our mortar. The mortar will attack our anti-tank team, I guess. No, it'll attack the machine gun team. So the range is 2, and the attack is a 6. So a 4 and a 5 are both misses. So that will end their turn. We go to my turn now. So I have my Sherman here, which is exposed. So I'm going to actually move him up here to get rid of the exposed. And I'm going to attack my armored car there. So I get a -1 on the attack, which means I need a 7, but I get 2 from my commander, a +2, so I need a 5 or higher to hit. Rolled a 9 and a 4, so I get 1 hit. Now his defense here is a 2. Gets no adjustment because there's no cover. There's no cover here. So it's just a 2. So he needs a 2 to avoid a hit. Rolled a 10. So this armored car is dead. And I can throw this back as well. So that's 41. So now 32 is my Lee. And they have no vehicles left. So I'm going to move him in here. And we will attack, I guess we'll attack our anti-tank team right here. So he moved, which is a -1. He gets a +2 from his commander, so we get a +1 on our HE attack of 8, so that makes it a 9. And we rolled a 4 and a 10, so we did get a hit. Now he gets a +3 for cover, so he's got a 5 defense. And rolled a 2, so no damage. Okay, so now we are at our half track, 504, and I'm going to have him attack the anti-tank team as well. His HE is a 6, and he has no commander, so he gets a penalty of 2, so he needs an 8. Rolled a 9 and a 6, so again, 1 hit. They need a 5, and rolled a 2. Okay. This is tough. I didn't count this, actually. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, so they're at 10 in terms. So they're still at half strength here. They are going to pick up another rifle squad at the start of the next turn. So we'll take another crack yet again, this time with our machine gun team. In fact, I'm going to move. Well, no, I don't want to do that because of the stress penalty. So 920, our machine gun team is going to shoot at their anti-tank there and try to kill it. We need a 2 to hit. We got a 7 and a 2, so that's 2 hits. And again, they need a 5, and they rolled 10s. So the anti-tank is dead. And that actually knocks them down to an 8. So now our rifle squad, rifle team, which has an HE of 5, will go after the other anti-tank. So that will be a, or actually we'll go after the machine gun here. So we'll go after this machine gunner. And our HE attack is a 5. And our commander is actually a -1, so they need a 6. So a 6 and a 4, again, 1 hit. Again, the defense is 5, and they rolled a 6. So the anti-tank is killed. And now we have our anti-tank unit, which has an HE of 8 and a +0. So chances are he's not going to hit, but he's going to attack the machine gun unit here. So we need an 8. Rolled a 6 and a 1, so no hit. Now we have our last tank, 032. Our Lee. So we're gonna move the Lee up here into the same hex with this machine gun team and attack it so that we get range 0. Oh wait, he can't attack at range 0. Boop, back him up. All right, so he's just gonna attack there. it's he needs an 8 to hit. Rolled a 7 and a 2. So that's going to do it for that turn. I'm going to go to turn 4. They are still at half strength. Let me flip them over, actually, so I can remember that. They are at half strength, and they get a new rifle unit, which I think is one of these guys. Yeah, so let me roll for where their new rifle unit will go, 2 again. And then I'll roll for their movement, 6, and we subtract 2, so that's a 4. So again, we get advance to cover, and we don't have any units from the tank, anti-tank, armored car any longer. We're down to 3 rifles, 1 machine gun, and 1 mortar. So the rifles, they get adjacent cover. So he will move here, because that's adjacent cover, and then he can attack, he'll attack the machine gun team. So he moved, which gives him a +2, so they need a 7 to hit. Rolled a 4 and a 10, so that's 1 hit. And our team here has a 2 defense with 2 additional, so 4. Rolled a 3, so no damage. This rifle team, adjacent cover. They don't have any adjacent cover, so he'll stay put. This one, because adjacent cover just says heaviest cover. So I'm a little unclear on whether I should force move them. So rulebook check says if there's no cover, they don't move. So simple, easy, done. Okay, our third rifle is here. So they are already in heavy cover. They don't need to move. But they will attack because so will this one. So we'll do this guy first. So he's an 8. He's attacking the Sherman. And he rolls an 8. Actually, no, he's got no range. He has to be in the same hex to attack the tank. I forgot about that. He's got a 0 there. So you can see here on his chit, if it gets focused. So the one in the corner is the unit value, but then we have the 0. That's his AP range. His AP attack rating's an 8. And then there's 1. That's his HE range, and the 5 is his HE firepower, and then his 3 is defense. So he has no attack. That one also has no attack. So this guy will attack, HE attack on our machine gun team. Rolled a 6 and a 5, so one of those is a hit. Now our machine gun team has a defense of 4, 2 plus 2 for the heavy cover. Rolled a 9, so that is a hit. And we get 1 stress, which makes our commander shaken because he's now at 4. So as you can see, here's Graham. He is at 4. He becomes shaken, so now he gets a -2 modifier on his attacks. So that kind of sucked. Okay, so now we'll move on to the machine guns, which have the same command, basically. They are to essentially advance to cover. They're already in heavy cover, not going to move. So he'll also attack our machine gun unit. Got a 10 and a 6. That's 2 hits. Needed a 3 to hit. Again, defense of 4, 9 and a 1. So 1 more hit on our machine gun here. And we get suppress T, so temporary suppression, which means he can't attack in this turn, or he takes a stress for his commander. I will probably just not attack because I don't want to gain the additional stress. So mortar is our last unit. He's got a hold, so he's going to fire. He'll fire on our, again, our machine gun team. They're picking on the same one. 2 hits because he needed a 7 to hit, and he got an 8 and a 10. Now the 4 is the defense as before. 4 and a 5, so 1 more hit. And we get a immobile. So now he also can't move. So we'll remove those at the end of this turn, but we're not moving or attacking this turn because I don't want to put additional stress on Graham, who's already at 4. So that completes their turn. It is now my turn, of course. So I'm not going to move my tank into the bog, so I will attack the I'm going to let that rifle kind of hang there, and I'm going to move into this hex. And we will attack the machine gun here, which has a value of 2. So if I kill that, that puts them at 5, and then that would be the end of the scenario, because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So killing either the machine gun or the mortar will put them at 5, which is the destruction level for this particular battalion. So let's see if we can get it done. So we moved in, but we moved into the same hex. So we get 3 attack die, and we also get +1 on our die roll. And we need a 6 to hit with a +2 from our commander, which becomes a +3. So we only need a 3 to hit, and we have 3 attack die. So we got 2 hits there and a 3rd hit, and our machine gun team now needs to roll 5s. So we got 2 5s, so he's negated 2 hits. So if this is a 5 or lower, no damage, no death. 7. So he is killed, and that will end this battle. They are down to 5. So the battalion has been destroyed. Now we'll go to our end of battle and end of turn sequence. So we know that 6A here has been destroyed. And so here's its chit. It was already half strength, obviously. It's been destroyed. So that is that. That is our 3rd battalion destroyed. It had a value of 4, so we're going to get 4 victory points for destroying it. It was commanded by Guderian, who gives us actually 3 additional SO points, so that's nice. So let me tally this all up, and then I'll show you what I've got, and then we will wrap up the week. Right, so we are finished with week 2. So I did my some of my post-week, well, I did my battle wrap-up, right? So we were using the top group here, as well as Geist, who unfortunately got killed in action. So we have a couple guys who are actually would have been eligible for promotion. We had 2, but one of them was killed. But Moore here is actually going to become green, because he's got 4 XPs and a 4 promotion XP rating. So Moore will actually get promoted. So here's Moore. He will get promoted to green, which actually helps a little bit. He gets to stay okay for longer is the main difference. He's still a -1 at range, but a 0 if he's in the same hex. So that's nice. And he commands our rifle team at the moment. So stress-wise, we have Talutki. He's got 5 now. Howard has 2. Cushing was KIA. Henders and Moore both have 3. Kolchak took 7, which is a lot. He is currently unfit. He's also my medic. And then Graham is 6. And so that makes him shaken, and that's the top of his shaken rating. So I am going to end up paying the 5 SO points to actually get, to reduce everybody's stress by 4 with priority R&R. Other than that, we had Cushing with the Sherman unit 042 was killed in an explosion, which also killed the unit. Graham's 920, which is my machine gun team, has a casualty, as does 901 from the other group that belongs to Kelly here. Kelly's right here. They also have a casualty. And so does Blair at 302 has a casualty. So I only have the 1 medic, so I can remove 1 casualty that way. And the other 2 may have to go into combat this week carrying a casualty. Because our first battle is actually going to be against a large tank force in week 3, which is going to be interesting. So we have to move our battalions. They only have 1 battalion left that actually can move, because these 2 are both fixed. So we'll roll here. It's an assault battalion. So we roll our 10-sided die, and it's an 8. So that's going to advance. So he moves up to our friendly transit area. And as I said, the other 2 are both fixed, but one of them actually has the ability here, our fuel depot, to advance any one non-fixed battalion. So they're going to actually be able to move up to our staging area. So if they can somehow survive 2 battles with me, then they would actually take away 6 of my SO points, which I guess since this is the last week wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I do need to kill them, and right now I am sitting at 10 victory points. And if we look at my invasion objective card, 10 victory points is considered adequate. So if I can win this battle, which is a 5-point battalion for the enemy, I'll be smack in the middle of the good evaluation. So that'll be nice. If I were able to actually kill everything, if I am able to kill that and pick up 8 additional this week, that would move me to great. So definitely worth shooting for that, and that will be my goal. So that was step 1 of the end of week. Step 2 would be on leave. Who are we going to put on leave? As I mentioned, I am not going to put anyone on leave. I think I mentioned that. Maybe I didn't. Opting instead to go with the priority R&R. Just SO points. So I now have 20 SO points. I have 20 SO points. Started the battle with 9, got 11, 8 from end of week, and +3 from defeating Guderian. So that gives me 11. So that's 20. I'm going to spend 5 on my priority R&R, leaving me with 15. And I will probably use some of those for my for buying some new units. And I'll talk about that in the 3rd video in the series of Sherman Leader here, which will be my week 3 startup. So I will do the repair and replace at that, even though this is end of turn or whatever. Because I'd like to talk about that in conjunction with my strategy for this week, these 2 week 3 battles that I'm going to attempt to fight. So that's going to do it for now. As always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you would. Help support the channel. That would be awesome. And until next time, my name's Joe. This has been Hexed Encountered, and happy gaming.